Hello everyone, welcome to the next class. This is the second lecture of electromagnetic field theory. The subject code is KEE 301. So in the last class we have studied about different kind of coordinate system, that is a Cartesian coordinate system, Cartesian coordinate system is also known as rectangular coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system and spherical coordinate system. We learned about how to represent the point, how to represent a length, differential surface and differential volume in different kind of coordinate system, that is a cylindrical, spherical, Cartesian. Now we will see how to transform a vector or a point from one coordinate system to another coordinate system. As for example, here this is the cylindrical cross section of cylinder. In cylindrical coordinate we are having three parameters as rho, phi and z. In Cartesian coordinate we are having x, y and z. Now we need to convert any of them into other one. As for example, sometimes we will have rho phi z, means rho phi z will be given and we need to find the value of x, y, z. Or alternatively, sometimes it may happen that x, y, z will be given and we need to find the value of rho phi z. So from here you can see that this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis and this is the z-axis, and this distance from here to here it is a rho, and the angle from the positive x-axis to this rho radial distance is phi. So we can write x as, this is the x, suppose this is the x-axis, this is a y. So x can be written as rho cos phi. Similarly, this is y. Y can be written as rho sin phi. And z will be the same as in the Cartesian coordinate. So z will be equal to z only. So by using, if we are been provided rho, z and phi, we can easily find x, y, z using this formula, and we need not to remember this, we can derive it very easily from this diagram. Now if suppose x, y, z is provided to us and we need to find rho phi z, then what to do? See, this is x and this is y, so this will be y also. Then this is rho, and rho can be written like x square plus y square, because rho is the hypotenuse, x is the base and y is the perpendicular distance. So we can write like this. Similarly, phi can be written as tan inverse y by x. This is the phi, this is the perpendicular, this is the base. We know that tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base. So theta, here in place of theta we are having phi, so phi will be equal to tan inverse y by x. We got the value of rho phi. Now we need to find the value of z. Z is the same, so z will be equal to z. Now this is all about the transformation of one point into other point. The first point, any point can be given in the cylindrical or in Cartesian. We can transform one to the other to the one using this formula and this formula. Now we need to transform vector also. Means in transformation, either the question will arise to transform a point from certain particular coordinate to some other coordinate system, or other question will arise that transform this vector from this particular coordinate to some other coordinate system. So till now we have seen how to transform a point from a particular coordinate system to other coordinate system. Like we have seen how to transform a point given in cylindrical coordinate to rectangular coordinate. From this formula, we can convert a point given in Cartesian coordinate into a point represented in cylindrical coordinate using this formula. Now we need to learn how to transform a vector from one coordinate, especially from cylindrical coordinate to Cartesian coordinate. For that, the formula is given here, and I will give you some tricks to remember it because it seems a little bit complex. So here you can see that we are going to transform vector, and vector is having magnitude as well as direction. Magnitude is given using coefficient and direction is given by the unit vector. So here this is the formula to transform cylindrical to Cartesian, because here this one is Cartesian coordinate and this is in cylindrical coordinate. So how to write this equation? You know that this formula is very easy to derive. So we have written x is equal to rho cos phi, y is equal to rho sin phi, z is equal to z. So same thing we will write here also. In front of x we will write the coefficient of x. In front of y we will write the coefficient of y, that is sin theta, and in place of z we will write 0. Now this is for rho. For phi we need to differentiate these terms with respect to phi, d by d phi. Once we will perform the d by d phi of cos phi, it will give minus sin phi. If we will differentiate sin phi with respect to phi, it will give cos phi. Again, differentiation of 0 will give 0 only. Now here to get z term, we need to differentiate this term with respect to z. If we will differentiate these terms with respect to dz, then we will get 0, because for z this is act as constant and the differentiation of constant is 0. Similar thing will happen for this also, and here we will keep 1 because we know that z value is the same in Cartesian as well as the cylindrical coordinate. So in this way we can remember the transformation formula for cylindrical to Cartesian. Now if reverse will be asked, then what to do? We simply need to do the inverse transformation. Means a rho a phi a z will be equal to the inverse transformation of this matrix multiplied by the coefficient of Cartesian coordinate. Now to solve this, can we lengthy, but the fact is that the transpose of this matrix is equal to the inverse of this matrix. So we will simply transpose this and write the answer. This is the transformation matrix to transform a vector from Cartesian coordinate to cylindrical coordinate. This is in cylindrical coordinate, this is in Cartesian coordinate. So these two formula can be used to transform any vector or point from Cartesian to cylindrical and vice versa. Let us see the transformation of a point and a vector in case of spherical to Cartesian and Cartesian to spherical. In Cartesian spherical coordinate, we are having three parameters, that is r, theta and phi. In Cartesian coordinate, we are having x, y and z. Now this is the sphere, cross-sectional part of a sphere. From here we can see that this is the r, radial distance, this is the rho, this is the phi, which is known as azimuth angle also, this is the theta, which is known as polar angle. So with the help of all these parameters we can derive the formula to transform a point given in spherical to Cartesian. As for example, suppose if x, y, z is given, then we can easily find the value of r, theta and phi. R will be equal to, this is the r, this is the x, this is the y. If this is the x, this is y, then we can find the value of rho. This will be root under x square plus y square. Again, this r is the hypotenuse for this triangle. So we can find the value of r by squaring this. Rho square, r will be equal to, here we will write r will be equal to root under rho square plus z square. Now we know that rho is equal to x square plus y square, so we can write r is equal to root under x square plus y square plus z square. Now theta can be written as, theta is the this angle, and we can write like this. This is rho. If this is rho, this can be rho also, and this is the angle theta. So how to represent a theta? Theta will be nothing but the tan inverse rho by z. Now we know that rho is equal to tan inverse x square by y square divided by z. So in this way we can find the value of theta. We can apply other formula also, like we can find the cos phi also. Cos phi will be simply z by r, and in that way also we can find the value of theta. Similarly, now we will find the value of phi also. Phi is the same as in the cylindrical case, so phi is this angle. We can find the value of phi using tan inverse y by x. So using this formula we can find the value of r, theta, phi. If some point is given in x, y, z, then we can find the value of r, theta, phi using this formula. Similarly, if r, theta, phi will be given, then how to find the value of x, y, z. See, this is the x, so if r is given, we can find the value of this rho. Rho will be, if this is theta angle, then rho will be r sin theta and z will be r cos theta. If this will be r sin theta, then x will be the component of this rho along x-axis. So we can write x is equal to rho cos phi, and rho can be written in terms of r as r sin theta. Here is the theta and here is the phi. So in this way we can find the value of x. Similarly, we can find the value of y also. So y will be equal to, y is this, means y will be equal to rho sin phi, rho sin phi, and rho can be written as r sin theta. So y can be written as r sin theta sin phi. Remember, this is the theta angle, this is the phi angle. Both angle are different, not the same. Theta is the polar angle and phi is the azimuthal angle. Now the third thing is z. Z will be equal to how much? Z is this, so z, we can write z simply as r cos theta. So using this formula, that is y is x is equal to r sin theta cos phi, y is equal to rho r sin theta sin phi, and z equal to r cos theta. We can find the value of x, y, z if some point in spherical coordinate, that is r theta phi, will be given. We can easily find the value of x, y, z. Now this is all about the transformation of a point given in spherical coordinate into the Cartesian coordinate, or the transformation of a point given in Cartesian coordinate into spherical coordinate. After that, we will see the transformation of a vector given in spherical coordinate to Cartesian coordinate, or vice versa. As previously we have seen that x is equal to y, z is equal to not to write here, just write here x is equal to r sin theta cos phi, and y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, z is equal to r cos theta. Now we have seen here the x coefficient of x is sin theta cos phi, y for y it's sin theta sin phi, for z it is a cos theta. So all these three quantity will appear here. There is the sin theta cos phi, sin theta sin phi, and cos theta. After that, as we are transforming spherical coordinate into Cartesian coordinate, because in the left side of the equal to we are having coefficient in Cartesian coordinate, and right side we are having coefficients in spherical coordinate. So here we will have we should write r theta and phi, means we need to differentiate these quantities with respect to theta, dy d theta. If we will differentiate this with respect to theta, we will get, for sin theta we will have the cos theta. Cos phi will remain as it is, because for theta it will act as a constant. Similarly, we will proceed for sin theta sin phi also, and the result will be this one, and for cos theta it will be minus sin theta. Now once we got this value, again we need to differentiate it with respect to d phi. Now here is the cos phi, so differentiation of cos phi will be minus sin phi, rest will be act as a will not come in this picture. Here the differentiation of sin phi will be cos phi, so we have written cos phi. Now sin theta will act as a constant for this phi, so differentiation of any constant quantity is 0. One point should be noted here, that this is not a rule. I have just given a trick to remember this complex transformation matrix. So in this way we can transform a vector given in spherical coordinate into Cartesian coordinate. Now reverse can be achieved by having the inverse transformation of this, and after doing the inverse of this matrix, we will get this. This is nothing but the transpose of this original matrix. Similarly, you have to change row with column and column with row, then you will get this matrix which transforms Cartesian to spherical. This is a given and this is the desired one. Now this is all about the coordinate system. We have seen three kind of coordinate system: Cartesian coordinate system and spherical coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system. In each coordinate we have seen how to represent a point, how to represent a differential length, how to represent a surface, how to represent a volume. So earlier we have seen that the coordinate is usually used, the need of coordinate has been arrived because of the vector representation, because to represent any vector we need coordinate system. So we have covered coordinate system first, and three type of coordinate system has been covered, in which we have learned how to convert a point, how to represent a point, length, surface and volume, and in second part we have learned how to transform a point given in a particular coordinate system into other coordinate system, and same thing we have learned for vector also. Now come back to the vector analysis. So in vector analysis we will study about vector operation. First, then we will study about vector calculus. Then at last we will study about vector identities. So in vector operation we are having different kind of operation like addition, subtraction, and then multiplication. And one more operation is division. But division of a vector is meaningless, undefined. It can possible only if both the vector will be parallel to each other. So we will focus on three kind of operation only, that is addition, subtraction and multiplication. Further, multiplication of a vector can be of two types, that is multiplication of a vector by scalar, that is a multiplication of a vector by scalar, by scalar, or multiplication of a vector by a vector. Other vector. Okay, now this scalar quantity can be either positive or negative. This scalar quantity will be either positive or negative. Multiplication by positive scalar will magnify the magnitude of this vector. However, the direction will be same. Further, multiplication of a vector by negative number will scale the magnitude of original vector, but the direction will be opposite. Now come to the multiplication of a vector by a vector. In such kind, again we are having different kind of multiplication, that is a scalar product, vector product, and this is a triple product. So scalar product is also known as dot product, vector product is also known as cross product, and triple products are another kind of product which we will discuss in later, and we will also see the examples and we will solve some numericals on this. So this is the simple overview of vector analysis, especially for the vector operation. In a vector analysis we study three things, that is vector operation, vector calculus and vector identities. We have covered vector operation. There are four kind of operation on the vector, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Division is usually undefined unless and until two vectors are not parallel, it can't be divisible. So dear students, this is all about the vector analysis. In vector analysis we have studied vector operation. Vector operations are of four kinds, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Out of all these four kind of operation, division is not possible unless and until the two vectors are not parallel. So this is all about the vector analysis. We will see further in next class and also solve some problem. Till then, bye bye, take care, thank you.